please.
You think I'm kidding?
Godfather. We need you here. Godfather, we need
Turn
you
back
here.
into the good father, please. Turn back into the light, please.
Right to censor.
No.
Oh no,
Wait,
he's out.
bro. He's out. Wait.
He's out. He's
Wait.
out. He's
Oh
done.
my God.
He's done. He's
He's
done.
leaving.
The Godfather's done.
Oh my God. He's leaving.
Is you ready to ride? Right now, can you feel it? Let's go, undefeated. Turn up and repeat it over and over and over and over again. Right now, can you feel it? Let's go, undefeated. Turn up and repeat it over and over and over and over again.
Y'all already know what's up. We are back. Attitude Era Podcast. Everything just got crazy, man.
Crazy.
Wow.
We didn't even start the interview, and this is already the
craziest
best
episode.
interview and the craziest episode ever. We have a
right.
legend in the building, somebody I grew up watching,
Facts.
spent a lot of nights getting in trouble with my mom.
Right.
What are you listening to?
Right.
Why are those women coming out on stage and
Right.
you're getting excited? We got the legend in the building, Sir Charles Wright, Soul Taker, Papa Shango, the Godfather, the
right.
Good Father, Kama Mustafa.
Come
You know,
on,
all
the
the aliens.
supreme
We
know
fighting
everything.
machine.
We know
The
everything.
supreme fighting machine.
I'm looking around like, who the hell are you talking about?
Are we talking about the one and only?
And we don't forget, we got nipples here tonight, too.
He's in the building. Godfather is activated. You know what I mean? It couldn't have been. By now, y'all probably seen the skit on Instagram. It couldn't have been an episode with the Godfather without, you know what I mean, him introducing the Attitude Era podcast
Lovely
to the whole
ladies.
train.
Weren't they lovely?
Love him.
Amazing.
But y'all chose to do the podcast instead of us and these girls going out.
Yeah,
so
man.
this podcast must be
Sorry, man.
pretty. No, don't be sorry. It must be
man.
pretty important.
Yeah, absolutely, man. To have
But-
you here for this podcast, very important. Very
But I
important.
think after the podcast, even though I don't think you smoke,
Oh, no, I don't smoke. No.
but other people might.
That man
Nipples
right,
might.
That man
I
right
think
there.
we're gonna smoke some after.
That's a fact.
So we're not going to do this in chronological order. We're just going to be all over the place with your career. So my first question for you, is there any theory behind, right? Because The Godfather was one of the prominent figures in the Attitude Era. A lot of people loved him. You went over well with the crowd.
Right.
Why was there only one time you got the Intercontinental title, or any belt for that matter, besides the tag team, other than with Goldust? Like, I felt like as a kid watching that, I wanted to see the Godfather, you know what I mean, with a European run, a WWF championship run. Like,
First of all, thank you for having me on the Attitude podcast here.
Thank you for
Attitude
being
Era
here.
podcast.
Absolutely.
But what people can't forget, it's a business.
mm-hmm.
It's a business. And no matter what, they went as far as they could with the Godfather gimmick.
Okay.
They went as far as they could. And believe me, to this day, Vince is on my side. But society was changing. They went from cable to network. They went, what's it called, public, when they started selling shares. And then they had to start answering this stuff. But to me, besides DX, and including DX, I don't think there was nobody as influential as me in the Attitude
Of
Era
course.
doing what I was doing.
Of course not.
It's very few things from the Attitude Era that lives on in today's like wrestling society.
Right.
Like we think about like, okay, I'm pretty sure every one of us as children watching this grew up saying "suck it" because of DX.
Right.
Absolutely.
But also, you have to attribute a lot of the
Pimpin' ain't easy.
Pimpin' ain't easy. You know what I mean? One of the prominent figures in the Attitude Era, man. Like it's incredible.
But you know what? Pimpin' ain't easy pertains to more than just pimping girls.
Talk to us.
It pertains to life. It pertains to relationships. Work. Pimping ain't easy, man. And just it ain't. And life ain't easy. Especially these days, life ain't easy.
Yeah, definitely
So,
not. Definitely
just
not.
saying,
It's a
man,
testament to that.
If you're a pimp, if you got girls, it don't matter. Pimping ain't easy.
Right.
In my mind, though, I just, you know what I mean, just seeing you walk down with the whole train with the WWF belt, that's ideal for me. You know what I mean? Just coming down with the big gold. You know what I mean? With
You
the,
want me to be real?
yeah.
Talk to us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we here
always,
for. It's
always,
Attitude Era
always.
podcast for a
We're
reason.
here for
100%.
the real, man. Talk to us.
Vince came to me and he said, the belt didn't mean anything on me because I had the girls. Unless y'all want me to call them hoes. I'm trying to be politically correct and not call them hoes. But since I am the Godfather, I'm going to say hoes. I had the hoes. And the belt didn't mean anything.
Right.
All the belt was is something the girls that carried out like a boxing ring. And then I think Vince put the belt on me just to make me more legitimate, along with the tag team straps with Bull.
Yeah.
Just to make me more legitimate. But the belt did not mean anything. I had the girls. I mean, what the can I cuss on this?
Of course.
Go ahead.
What the fuck does the belt mean when I got 5, 6 beautiful fucking hoes out there, nipples, and just doing our thing, man? It didn't mean anything. The belt was just, I had such a show on its own that I didn't need the belt.
Right.
And Vince is, first of all, before we go any further, Vince is the coolest motherfucker out there.
Shout out to
allowed me
Vince.
to smoke.
Shout out to me.
Vince allowed me to
McMahon.
do all the things that I did, man, and he is so much cooler than people think he is. And God bless you, Vince. I love you to this day. Every year, Vince calls me, doesn't call me, texts me these days, texts me and says, happy birthday.
Fire.
Come on, man.
Just dope.
And when this show's over, I'll show you the text.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fire. So my next question for you was, in the process of this, right, what was the procedure going from city to city, picking out the whole train? Was it auditions?
Oh, that's a great
How does that work?
question. How did you
Do they
pick
have
those?
applications? Do you have
Like, did you have
an
to
audition?
file an
Oh,
application to get accepted
Is there
to
a
come
whole
out
audition?
to be part of the whole train?
How does that work? We need to know.
Bro, it goes so much deeper than that, but I'm going to start from when the character took off. Vince came to me, Undertaker, and the Harris twins. I don't know if you guys remember them. They were in the DOA biker group.
Come on.
And he says, Charles, because we had tried kind of the week before we kind of threw it out there, me and Bradshaw. And so Vince goes, Charles, I think this has legs. He goes, do you think you can find me some girls? I'm like, Vince, hey, bro, I'll just go to the titty bar we were at last night and get some girls. So me, Undertaker, and the Harris boys went to a topless club. We grabbed 4 or 5 girls. We put them on TV. We did the whole Godfather thing without Vince knowing anything. He just knew it had legs. And when I got back, Vince says, Charles, we're going to make some money with this. And that's a shoot, man. That's a shoot.
Shouts to Vince for
Shout out to
allowing-
Vince,
You
man.
gotta be really tight knit with Vince in order for him to let something fly and just like not having any knowledge of it. Like that's crazy. Like just throw that out there for him. It's crazy.
I will say this, that I am best friends with The Undertaker.
Yes, we know
And
that.
that might have opened up some doors that might not have been opened before. But once they opened up, I stepped in. I didn't step in. I broke that motherfucker down.
Right.
And it wasn't about The Undertaker anymore. It was about me.
Right.
And like I said, to this day, man, I love the organization. I fucking love Vince, Stephanie, Shane. They have always been so fucking cool with me that you guys would not believe it. From letting me smoke weed to, I don't want to incriminate myself.
Yeah, don't get too crazy.
Like
Don't
weed
get
ain't
too
incriminated myself, nipples. But they're just a good family. And Vince is so much cooler than you people think he is. From listening to rap music, listening to country music,
Right.
to listen to rock, to listen to whatever the fuck else is out there. Vince is on top of everything. Even though Vince isn't running the company no more,
Right.
so is Triple H.
Shout out
He's
to
on top
Triple
of
H.
it.
Shouts to Triple H.
My next question was, we talked about this off camera, but I feel like you got to say that on camera, on who was responsible for the character of the Godfather.
Right.
Like, because it's shocking to the world when they find out, you know what I mean?
Right.
What you about to say?
Especially when
Y'all
you've
ain't
been
gonna
in
believe
these
me.
other-
Especially what?
when you've had these other personas to jump to the Godfather.
Y'all ain't gonna believe me. But my wife.
Crazy.
My wife is the one that came up with the whole Godfather. I wanted to be a mean pimp. I wanted to be
a mean-
slapping girls and doing all that. If Vince didn't do, I gave Vince 2 scenarios. I said, we
Right.
can do my wife's way or we can do my way.
Right.
And Vince chose to do my wife's way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can't forget, like back in the day, bro, I owned a topless club.
Yeah. Cheetahs.
I was one of the owners of Cheetahs, where they filmed Showgirls, and it was like I'm dealing with topless girls all my life, nipples, and that's between us. That's between us.
That's
Nipples got me for some reason.
man.
Nipples has got me, man. I'm kind of caught up.
Yeah, I know. We're only 10 minutes in the
He said,
episode,
I'm kinda caught up.
and everybody watching this episode is going to know who is the woman that Godfather
promise.
Can
keeps
we say
saying
her
is
name?
nippy. Yeah, go ahead if she wants to tell us her name.
What's your name, baby?
My name is Chris Starr, professional playhead.
Did y'all hear that?
Wow.
She's got the prettiest nipples you ever seen in your life. I had the luxury of sucking on some.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is
I
gonna be the
mean,
wild.
it's-
Listen, let me tell you something right now. This is gonna be the wildest episode of
Ever.
Attitude
Hold
Era
on.
podcast
Ever.
to date. I promise you. You won't find any better here. I promise you.
Let me ask you something, because it seems like a lot of your persona just comes off who you naturally are. Like, you're just naturally cool, laid back. What is it like to have that persona that you like so much, be doing your thing, and then to have the company say you got to switch to the good father, which is what's that like?
That growl
First
says
of-
it all.
First of all, Vince was so behind the Godfather. Vince used to walk down the aisle and say, "Pimpin' ain't easy, pimpin' ain't easy." I'm like,
Sounds
Vince,
like
you know,
Vince.
because you're the biggest pimp there is. But it got to the point where society was changing, and they were doing away with the suck it, the puppies, and me. And it's just sad because, I mean, it was just so cool.
We keeping 100, man. As a kid, you know what I mean? You know, as a young kid being 8, you wild perverted, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Attitude Era was fucked up for me when that left, man.
Right.
That's kind of when I started drifting
You know
off.
what's
Like,
crazy?
yeah,
Did
man.
you know what a hoe was?
For sure. I'm from Queens.
I did.
I mean,
I'm
so
going
like-
back 20 years. I don't know.
No,
You're
I'm
young.
I'm from Queens. Listen, and my mom and dad, 2 transparent people, did drugs,
Right.
told me about the whole process. I used to go to meetings, so I knew everything at a young
Brother
age.
said, I went to meetings.
I went to meetings. I'm in there feeling like I had a problem. So yeah, I knew about everything. So when I'm watching that, Jerry Lawler talking about the puppies, Jacqueline Sable, you with the whole train.
That was
Yeah.
one fine
Yeah,
lady.
Stone
beautiful.
Cold with his
Beautiful.
persona. Like, I feel like the Attitude Era worked so much because that was just the time of life. It was like a rebellious stage of life. Like,
Yeah.
in your opinion, because I'm a child, so even though I'm saying I know about these things, you're actually living it. Like, what was the wrestling business and what was just the world like back at that time during the Attitude Era?
It was so cool because it became to the point where Vince is like, you be you. And I'm not going to restrict you. I'm not going to hold you back. So Godfather, be Godfather. DX, be Godfather. You know what the thing is people forget about
to us.
Val Venus.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's one of my
Shouts to Val
favorites.
Venus.
Val
Venus.
Venus was the
That's one of my
nastiest son of a
favorites.
gun out there.
Hello,
Val
ladies.
Venus used to
Val
say a
Venus.
lot worse stuff than what I said.
Yeah, shout out to Val.
That's about Venus.
Do y'all remember that me and Val were in a tag team?
No.
I don't remember.
You
that.
don't remember?
I don't remember that.
Me and Val were
I
in a
remember the
tag
feud.
team.
I remember the
when
feud.
I was this is besides that.
Yeah.
Before that, this is when Val was Val. I was the Godfather, and we were a tag team for a minute. We were called Supply and Demand.
Ooh,
Fire.
I believe you guys.
crazy.
Anyway, a lot of people remember that.
That's
crazy.
kind
Yeah.
of fire.
That's all.
And then Val would come out and do his porno stuff, and then I'd come out there with the girls and do my stuff, and it was just so cool.
But see what
man.
I'm saying? Like, I feel like that right there in itself, just because that gets over so much in the Attitude Era,
That would sell.
y'all needed the belts. It should have at least been a tag team run.
that would have deserved a tag team championship run.
You
That
know
in
what?
itself, because both personalities, both personas work so well. It sells on TV at that time. It's raunchy. I don't see why it wouldn't go over. Like,
The
in regards to
problem
getting the belt.
is
Talk to us.
I'm just
Yeah.
speaking as myself.
Talk to us.
And the thing is I wasn't a wrestling fan. You can't forget how old I am. I'm 61 years old.
Yeah.
And
Man.
no matter that I look young and I act young, I'm still 61 years old. And when I grew up in the Bay Area of California, Northern
Shouts to the Bay.
California,
Shouts to the Bay.
roller derby was much bigger than wrestling. And we used to go to roller derby, not wrestling. So I was never a wrestling fan. I knew Rocky Johnson because he was black.
Soul
I knew
Man.
Jesse the Body because he was cool.
Right.
And I knew Haystack Calhouns because he was from San Francisco.
Fire.
But I
going way
wasn't
back
a
on
wrestling fan. I was a roller derby fan. So, I mean, just, it is what it is.
My question when you say, DX was allowing you to be who, Vince was allowing DX to be who they wanted to be. They was allowing you to be want to be. Do you feel like that played a part because of the Monday Night Wars?
Of course.
And now my next question is, right, we all know, you were supposed to take a role that was taken by Virgil instead, that you actually said, you know what?
This is a good
I'm
question.
happy I didn't take this role because how they were playing Virgil, I wouldn't want to be that. But let me just ask
Shouts to
you,
Virgil. Shouts to Virgil.
because you keep it so 100.
Virgil's a good dude.
Yeah,
Shout
no,
out to
great
Virgil,
guy,
great dude.
guy.
If you had a choice back then, because I always wanted to know this, right? And I'm going to give my answer after. Which faction would you have ideally wanted to be with? NWO or D-Generation X?
Good question.
Third choice.
Ooh.
Nation of Domination.
Come on. Hello.
Okay.
Nation of Domination.
Me just seeing the Godfather bring out hoes for Shawn Michaels when he was, because Shawn Michaels is a changed man now. You know what I mean? But that
Yes,
Shawn
see-
Michaels.
When you see me go, I don't want to
It's one
answer.
of those.
Okay. But just as a fan, I don't know the behind the scenes. Just watching it, they doing Suck It, Road Dogg with his promo.
He was
Yeah, I
good.
mean, yeah.
And I smoked with all these
Yeah,
dudes.
you know what I mean? So
All of
Road
them.
Dogg being able to say, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we present to you the Godfather, and you come out the whole. I'm just.
That'd have been
know what I
perfect.
mean?
That'd have been crazy.
Seemed like epic. But I like your answer for which, because that's the group you was in. What was your time like with the Nation? Let's get into that.
Best time, man. Best time. When I was in the Nation, I joined, and here's the thing: people didn't know that when I joined the Nation, when I showed up to TV, they said I took some pictures, and I was supposed to be Papa Shango
Come on.
for the Nation. A lot of people don't know this. I was supposed to be Papa Shango, so I lost weight. I'm like 290 right now. I'm down to 260. I look good, and they want to do a Papa Shango run. And I was cool. When I get there, I take some Jerry the King Lawler, who I had my first match against ever. He painted up my face. And that, if you go on Instagram, you can find him. And Facebook and all that bullshit. But Jerry did the face. We took some pictures, and then they said, Vince wants to talk to you. And I'm like, cool, I want to talk to Vince. I know that motherfucker.
Right.
Right? So I go in there, and this is exactly what happened. Vince goes, Charles, change of plans. I'm like, change of plans? He goes, yes. He goes, we're going to put you in the Nation of Domination. You and Farouk are going to wrestle The Undertaker in a handicap match, and you are going to go over, which means I'm going to win.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. You know what I said to Vince? I said, Vince, am I going to make the same amount of money? And Vince says, just Charles and more. I'm like, well, then I'm cool.
Right.
And so they put me in the Nation of Domination.
Right.
If you want to hear a story, you got to stop me because I'll talk forever.
Nah, tell us.
If
Wait
you
for
want
it.
to hear a
Wait for
story,
it.
that's the first time I met Ron Simmons, who I love him to death. He is a mentor to me. I'm 61 years old. I think Ron's 64 years old, but I look at him too as a authority figure,
Right.
because he's been around and he's wrestled in the South and shit that I didn't do. And
First
dealt with-
African-American
yes,
WCW
and
heavyweight
dealt with
champion.
racism. Ron
Yep.
dealt with
Legendary.
racism like I couldn't deal with. Motherfucker called me an N-word. I'm punching in your motherfucking mouth. Not that Ron didn't. But I was supposed to go to the in the NWO. I don't know if you're going to get into that, but I didn't go because Ron told me you ain't going to get along with them motherfuckers. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, they use that N-word like it ain't nothing. I'm like, you motherfucker call me that N-word, I'm going to kick your ass. He goes, well, you're going to be fighting every day. And I'm like, you know what, then I'm going to leave that alone.
Was it true that originally with returning as Papa Shango, I had read somewhere that I remember Bob Backlund kind of had a gimmick where he was like going crazy. Was it true Papa Shango was originally supposed to be the reason Bob Backlund was losing his mind?
First of all, the worst matches that I've ever had in my life as Papa Shango were against him, Bob
Right.
Backlund.
Yes.
And I like Bobby. He's cool. But I couldn't gel with him. Maybe I wasn't as good as my gimmick as he was, but I couldn't wrestle him because it just didn't make no sense.
Right.
And then, yes, we were supposed to come back and work some program, but they put me in the Nation.
So being in the Nation, like just outside of wrestling, because you got to think a lot of people are just harnessing on these characters. Like Stone Cold was such a big figure because there's a bunch of people that wanted to tell their boss, "Fuck you."
Oh,
You know
I'm
what I mean?
sorry
I
for
know
the
you're distracted. I know Godfather. I know.
I'm
Let's just get through this. You
Don't
know what I mean?
forget who
we
I
there.
am.
Yeah, don't forget who you are.
She got the prettiest nipples.
I wouldn't know. I didn't. You know what I mean?
Of course you didn't know. You didn't suck on them like I did.
I mean,
God bless.
I didn't.
But-
I'm sorry. Let me.
Yeah.
I just got.
But-
I just
But
movement.
what I was saying is like
baby.
a lot.
I'm sorry.
Granted.
Praise God.
Listen. So no,
Praise God.
Stone Cold went over on a lot of people just because a lot of people wanted to tell their boss what he was telling Vince. You know, even though it's scripted, people are emotionally attached to that. Yes. I say that to say the Nation of Domination was like the Black Panthers form of wrestling. So in there, you made a bunch of people feel like it really stood for something. And then Farouk, Ron Simmons' voice is so commanding that, you know, you're really getting into it. Like he's really standing for something, trying to liberate the people. Like, did you guys at that time, you know, and then because this character is such a switch, did you feel like when you're in that character doing that, like it was bigger than wrestling? Because because that was like the first African American faction that was popular. Yeah. So what was that? I mean, like, what were people saying at that time when you was?
We took it for granted because to us it was just wrestling. It was just, and when you look back at it today, you see, boy, that been. But Ron was serious about it.
You could tell.
I was just kind of hanging out, but Ron was serious about it. But it was just. It's hard to look at it now,
right,
from when we did it then, because society was so much different.
Yeah,
and people hated us.
Yeah,
and people. Somebody. I'm not gonna say the N word because I hate that fucking word.
Right.
But people were calling us the N word and all type of shit.
Yeah, that's why I can say I can imagine the racial diversity that came with you guys, because it was just like, for me when I seen it, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I started liking it. You know what I mean? More so when The Rock got involved and all that, because I'm a kid, so I'm looking at it like this is almost like school. But a lot of people was taking offense to it because it stood for something. It meant something.
Okay. You want to hear a story?
Always.
We're here for the stories.
Everything don't got a
Nipples, you
backstory.
want to hear a story? I just keep mentioning your name. Don't leave me. Okay.
Talk to him.
I show up to TV, and I was supposed to be Papa Shango.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm like 290 right now. I'm like 270. I'm all ripped up. I'm ready to go. Jerry Lawler paints my face. And the thing is, people don't know that Jerry Lawler is a hell of an artist.
Crazy.
So and if you
would've
go on
guessed
Instagram, you'll see the face. And they paint my face, and I take some pictures. And they say, Vince wants to talk to you. I'm like, okay, I'm cool with Vince. Vince said, take off your makeup. I'm like, well, that sounds a little weird. And so I take off my makeup, or they take off my makeup. I go to Vince, and Vince says just like this. He goes, Charles, change of plans. He goes, we're going to put you in the Nation of Domination.
Right.
You and Ron Simmons are going to. I've never met Ron until then. I love Ron to death.
Absolutely. Shouts to Ron Simmons.
Ron, I love you, bro. He says, we're going to put you in the Nation of Domination. You and Ron are going to wrestle The Undertaker, and you are going to go over, which means I'm going to win.
Right.
And he goes, I'll explain the rest later. And this is, I swear, like when they told me that I was going to be Godfather, the more I said, I don't got no hose. And so he says, fuck, I don't even know where I am now.
Bro, I'll tell you this. Hey,
That's
think
the
about
real
those nipples.
it's listen, man. Attitude Era podcast, man. I'll tell you this much. Listen, with what you provided, right, in the Nation of Domination, right, speaking on what the group itself, what the faction stood for, like you said, you guys took it for granted in regards to the impact of it. I went to a Monday Night Raw, right, a young kid, me and my older brother, my little brother, and at this time you were feuding with DX, and my father, not really a big wrestling fan, but once he got into what I was watching, he really was glued to the idea of what the Nation of Domination was, right? Beyond what you may have seen it as. You know, like he obviously Farouk as the leader of it but he kind of, and I'll never forget this. My father kind of saw you as the enforcer of it. You know what I mean? Not really on the mic as much, but the presence was just undeniable. You know what I mean? So from then to seeing you as a Nation of Domination enforcer, then transitioning into the Godfather, just a staple of my childhood. You know what I mean? A staple. You know what I mean? Who wouldn't want to go on the Ho train growing up, like watching him come out with all these beautiful women and they're like getting out of matches and stuff like that? It's like, listen, we don't have to wrestle. We don't have to. What I can do is I can offer you these beautiful ladies.
But I'd say I'm going to kick your ass anyway.
Oh, yeah. Like, listen, you don't want to do this. But I have these beautiful ladies here. What do you say? And then some people actually taking that offer. It's absolutely wild. It's
Wouldn't
wild.
you?
I mean, I'm
Okay,
listen,
okay.
man
Let's
of
be
God.
real.
He's a
Wait,
man
wait,
of
wait.
God.
Let's
He's a
be
man of
real.
God.
I'm going to go to you.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Come on, Z.
Would you rather
I've
fight
got no
me
strings. I'm taking
30
it off.
years ago? Would you rather fight me
Absolutely not.
or go out with a night with the
Oh,
host?
you know the answer. I got no strings. I'm not
I mean,
fighting.
we
I'm
wrestle
definitely not
tonight.
fighting
Married
you.
man. Love you,
Yeah.
man.
I'm
I
definitely
love
not
you. I love
fighting
you.
you.
So my next
Love you,
question
man.
for you, right? and it might be biased, but I hope you're not political. In your opinion of the Nation of Domination, who
Throwing
was
political shit up there?
no, just making sure we not. Who was a better leader?
Fuck that come from?
Who was a better leader to you, Farouk or The Rock?
Ooh.
Farouk. And
Point blank period.
I have nothing against The Rock. He's a cool motherfucker. And this is what I tell people about The
favorite
Rock.
wrestler.
Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Sting,
Yeah.
Undertaker, whoever the fuck you want to throw out there.
Right.
The Rock is the coolest motherfucker out there that I can go to The Rock tomorrow and Rock say, how's your mom Beverly doing? How's your son doing? How's your he is so if somebody is like, I'm not going to shit talk people, but like Stone Cold, Undertaker, The Rock, they are so true to what they are. It's not believable, bro. Right. And they really believe what they are. And I've seen Undertaker, my mother, God rest her soul, show up. I can't talk about my mom. It's hard.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Absolutely.
I'm a big mama's boy.
Absolutely.
Believe me.
As am I.
As am
And I
I.
love my
All
mom.
of us. All of us.
I mean,
You know?
I didn't want to go here, but my mom would go to a signing that the Undertaker was at, and the Undertaker knew my mom. I knew his mom, and he would stop whatever he is doing or whatever he was doing at the time, and say, "Oh, Beverly, how are you? I love you," and and that means a lot to me,
Yeah.
and meant a lot to her.
No, absolutely.
It's cool. It's cool that you have those relationships and so many backstage friends. You were really in it from like the groundwork and building these relationships with a lot of people who would go on to have these. It's right there, right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Not that I drink, but
Yeah.
BSK. We'll get into that.
Slide it over.
You were,
I'll grab that.
Can I say one thing?
Shouts to Cruz.
Before we go any
Cruz behind
further
the camera.
and keep your thought.
Absolutely.
Has
Shout to
anybody
Cruz.
been drinking this but me?
That's all
Cruz
you.
has helped you.
Cruz has helped you.
Thank you, because
That's all you, man.
these guys are drinking
Shouts to Cruz behind the
Chinese wine and Vietnamese fucking liquor and backdoor fucking Johnny and shit.
Backdoor Johnny is wild.
He's insane.
Oh,
The
man.
Godfather is
I'll say this.
on.
I'll say this, right? Speaking on the relationship you've had with a lot of your fellow co-workers and comrades, right? One that you brought out that I want to kind of highlight is your relationship with Mark Hamill, which is Mark Calloway. Sorry,
Did you say Mark Hamill?
I'm sorry, Mark
That's
Calloway.
Luke,
Mark Calloway.
Luke Skywalker.
No, Mark
Oh,
Calloway. Sorry.
I'm not going to lie. After
No.
that statement, you
No.
definitely wasn't drinking that by
No.
yourself.
Look, I want to highlight your relationship with Mark Calloway.
Okay.
Obviously, behind the scenes, a group that's more known as BSK.
Okay.
And I just want to highlight, some of the things that you've experienced in your journey, in your career, things that the fans may never get to experience that we can appreciate in regards to your camaraderie outside of the ring, in regards to certain people that were involved in BSK.
Today alone, the Godwins, who were part of BSK, were there. Rikishi is a good friend of mine.
We've had him on the show too.
Yeah, I'm sure he did a good job. He's a good
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
good.
automatically.
Undertaker, Yokozuna, Masafuji, Crush, Savio Vega, We were all part of BSK. And the thing about BSK is we weren't political like the Clique. I'm sure you guys know about the Clique.
Oh yeah,
They were political.
I got a question
They were
about
running
that.
it. But we were just more. We all played dominoes, and just so everybody knows, I am the best domino player.
Ooh.
Oh, don't say it, because I'll stay here
father,
later.
My father would have
I ain't
something
talking
to say
about your father.
that.
I'm talking
camera.
about you.
I'm
I'm talking about
you
people
know,
that can do shit
hey,
to me now. So I ain't
a
want to talk
villain.
about you.
Hey,
I
listen,
love
he's
your
here.
father. God bless
Listen.
you. But unless you can
He's
play
here.
domino, we're going to go this way.
I'm gonna just shut up over here.
Okay.
I'm gonna just shut up. He got
Do
it.
we have any domino players here?
Cruz, the cameraman said he's
Oh,
available.
yeah, he.
Cruz.
Don't.
Nipple said he's
BSK,
available.
Bone Street Crew. Don't act like you can play if you can't play. Because in
Cruz
a
is
game
ready.
of 3 to 150, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Can you
Cruz is-
explain what BSK is to people who might
What's
not
wrong
know?
with y'all messing stuff up? What's wrong with them, Godfather?
last name by
What they
accident.
doing, man? Your man said Mark Campbell. He talking about BDK.
Callaway.
Yeah, they can't drink, man. We available.
The legend.
But can you explain what that is to people who might not know?
There was a group of us that hung out together, meaning Yokozuna, Rikishi, Undertaker, me, the Godwins, Sabia Vega, Crush, and Masafuji, the manager, and Paul Bearer. And we hung out in strip clubs every fucking night. If I had the money that I spent in strip clubs, my God. But anyway, we hung out in strip clubs every night. Every night. And we played dominoes during TV. You'd be at TV from 1 o'clock in the afternoon till 10 at night. And so we played dominoes all night. So we started, Yokozuna started. Everybody thinks it's Undertaker. And if you want to think it's Undertaker, that's fine. But Yokozuna started a thing called BSK, Bone Street Crew. And we played dominoes, and we watched each other's back, and we drank a lot of Jack together, and we partied a lot together, but we watched each other's back. And to this day, the guys that are alive and the guys that are passed on, I love them motherfuckers to death.
Absolutely.
My next question for you is back to the Monday Night Wars.
I'm sorry.
No, back
Nipples
back-
is fucking with me over here. I'm sorry.
back to the Monday Night Wars. When was there ever a time that you felt like in your heart like this is getting out of hand? WCW might pull this off.
Right.
You want to hear some inside stuff?
Of course,
Absolutely.
And
We're
you're
here for
quiet.
it.
You
Attitude
need to
Era
talk
podcast.
more.
Talk to him. Talk
You need
to him,
talk more. You're the-
Godfather.
I'm going to talk to you.
Talk to him.
Talk to me.
Please.
Talk to me.
Talk to
Please,
him.
Talk to
Talk to
him.
me.
Please talk to him.
What's the question again?
No, with the
I told you that was going to happen, right?
He did.
Motherfuckers like
He let
drinking
us
a bottle
know.
of Jack.
He let us know.
no,
Five
he kept it
Jordans.
100. What's the question again? No,
Suck
Monday
the
Night
Godfather's
Wars.
in the zone right
Monday
now,
Night
y'all.
Wars. You said you was going to give us some insight. Did you ever feel like it was ugly, like WCW was going to pull it off?
I will say this, not to toot my own horn,
Okay.
Talk to us.
but during those wars, I never lost. Like whatever segment I was on as the Godfather, and whoever was on the segment against me,
Right.
they would put less talent against me because I would beat their major talent.
It's fair.
And I'm going to toot my own horn right now. You know, in basketball arenas where we normally wrestle,
Yeah.
they have applause meters. 70, 80, 90. And Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker used to always see who had the loudest applause meter. And I'm telling you guys, no bullshit, I would win every night because I did a thing, I don't know if you guys remember, but I would come out by myself and people would cheer and they'd start booing like, where's the hose? And then I'd bring the hose out
Yep.
and that second pop would be louder than anybody got the whole night.
Oh,
My
so you saying your pop meter was higher than Stone Cold, The Rock, and The Undertaker?
I just did the Stone Cold podcast. He'll
You
tell
did Broken
that.
Skull,
Yeah,
yeah.
he'll
Yeah,
tell you
I
that.
Crazy.
Come on, I got hose.
come on, pimping ain't what?
Easy.
So in your mind though, just to sum it up, you never felt like they got a chance of getting us.
Oh. Come on, man. Bro, my wrestling career is so much like my real life, it ain't funny.
Yeah.
I'll let it go at that.
Okay.
I have to ask. With so many iconic.
Yo, Saga, just to cut you off though, he said he wanted him to talk more, but you're not
sorry,
you're not
absolutely.
facilitating.
Yeah,
it.
go ahead. You got your
No,
questions.
I
All right, well,
almost want only
let me
talk
ask
to
you
you.
something. I wanted to get into
Let's
some.
put- I'm put the mic
like
down.
some rumor
Okay,
kind
good.
of stuff and see the truth behind it. So obviously, Godfather, you've always been very over with the crowd, and as Papa Shango, we were talking about how you had the Intercontinental belt, but you were supposed to get a bigger push as Papa Shango. I want to set the scene. Shango. Hulk Hogan versus Sid Vicious. There was a part where you ran out, but apparently the rumor is you ran out a little later than you were supposed
Mr.
to,
Q, yeah.
causing Sid Vicious to kick out of the leg drop, which made Hulk Hogan mad, pushing your push a little back and stopping. Is that true?
Well, let's first start with fuck Hulk Hogan.
Oh my God.
let me take
Hold
a
on.
sip.
Hold on. Attitude
You
Era
got the Bubba Ray
podcast.
after they put.
Attitude Era podcast.
I'm not going to
Oh my God.
elaborate on that, but fuck Hulk Hogan.
Wow.
Good night.
But
Good night.
besides that, you can't forget, I'm Papa Shango. I'm seriously, I've been in the business like 3 years.
Yeah.
Right.
3 years, maybe less. And then all of a sudden I'm involved in a main event in WrestleMania. And so all I knew is I had to do what I had to do. And they said, when we tell you to go, you run out there and you do this. And that's all I was concerned with.
Right.
Okay, what happened is, and I only mention his name now because he's passed. God bless his soul. Gorilla Monsoon.
Gorilla Monsoon.
And I don't know if you guys
man.
know this, but Gorilla Station is right behind, it's still today, behind the curtain.
Yes.
It's called Gorilla Station.
Yeah.
And they told me, because I'm green, meaning I'm very new to the business and I'm involved in such a big thing, do not leave until we tell you to leave. So, I mean, like a track star dude, I'm like this. And they said, go, 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 go. Well, he gave me the cue late.
Wow.
And so I was late getting there, and all I knew is what I had to do when I was there. And so, yeah. And here's the funny thing, bro.
Talk to us.
I just, it's the Raiders.
I'm sorry. We had a conversation off camera about the Raiders. We can talk about it now if you want to, even if though, like, it's a lot that comes with that. It's a lot that comes with it being in Vegas and then him being an Oakland Raiders fan. It's a lot. Listen, you're missing out on a lot of great conversation.
I'm with you, man. I got you.
Oakland and in Las Vegas, it's a lot. I'm just worried. It's you know, I still have faith in them. I still have faith in
He's
them.
available.
Obviously,
He's available.
we have
He's
our
definitely
we have our understandings of what the
Godfather,
Raiders
can we
are
get a
right
good night?
now. You know,
That's one of my sayings. Good night.
Good night.
good night.
Good night.
He's available,
Listen,
ladies and gentlemen.
I'll turn the hat backwards.
Yeah.
You don't got to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to you. No, we're talking about your answer right now.
But you were saying how they made you miss your
Yeah,
cue.
they missed-
What's
they
the
missed the cue.
backstage
They missed the
reaction
cue.
like when you get back from?
I did not hear I did not hear anything about it until years later, and I'm doing these autograph signing sessions. Like, what happened at WrestleMania? And you were late, and I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? They're like, what happened when you were? I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? Fuck Hogan. What are you talking about? I shouldn't say that. That's the Jack Daniels. No, it ain't. Fuck Hogan. It ain't the Jack Daniels. Fuck him. You know how stupid that motherfucker is?
How stupid.
Brian Knobs, you love this. Brian Knobs calls me, and he's at Hulk Hogan's hideaway, where the fuck it is. He's in Tampa, or where the fuck he is. And he goes, and you hear Hulk Hogan go, and mind you, I don't like him. I don't give a fuck who knows that.
My God.
And it's not a racial thing. It's beyond that.
Yeah.
And so he goes, hey, Terry, Godfather's on the line. And Terry goes, what up, brother? I love you, brother. I can't wait to see you. Man, that's how stupid that motherfucker is.
Good night.
I let it go. Good night. Nipples is rolling a blunt.
Yo,
Oh,
Godfather.
man.
I'm going to stop with the nipples thing. I'm sorry, nipples.
Oh
No.
my
Just-
God.
But let me ask
You
you.
got to
about
let me suck on
another-
them a little longer. Just a little bit
Oh.
before I go home. You got to let me suck on them motherfuckers a little bit.
Oh, my-
You got
Oh.
the prettiest
Yo,
nipples.
move the jack away.
Fuck the
Move
jack.
jack.
I'm gonna
Fuck the
move the
weed.
jack
Because
over
Saga,
here.
you
I
keep
just
giving
want
it
to
to
suck
him.
on the
And
nipples
that's
for
a
like 20
Christian man
minutes.
That's
doing
a
it.
Christian
Here's
man.
my
I
thing.
mean,
At the
that's
end
a
of the
Christian
day-
man that goes to
No, no,
church
no.
every
No, no,
That's
no.
a
Sunday.
man of God.
Passing the
day,
Jack
listen.
Daniels.
That's a man of
At the
God.
end of
See,
the
when I
day-
get started here, everybody see shit.
At the end of the day, we want to make sure our guest is
They
comfortable.
supposed to drink wine,
We'll make
Saga.
sure.
Not Jack
Man,
Daniels.
watch out, baby.
Bread and
We
wine.
want to make
But-
sure that our guests are comfortable here at
Z, you
Attitude
got
Era
another question?
Podcast.
I do.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you another kind of, I don't know, controversial, but another moment in the Attitude Era people remember that you participated in the Brawl for All. Where,
Yes.
where things got like a little.
I got. Be honest.
We have to talk about
Be
it.
honest.
We have to talk
I
about
got
it.
knocked the fuck out.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that experience. Like they kind of tried to turn it into real life, kind of do a shoot style, and you're known
Here's the
as
real.
one of the tough guys in the back.
Well, I'm known as one of the tough guys as Bear, not Godfather.
Oh, right, you were telling me about this.
And Bear is a biker, tough guy, mean guy, and Godfather's a stoner, happy, lick nipples guy type of guy. Okay, but the Brawl for All. Let me tell you exactly, because I did the Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah, I watched that.
Here's the gist.
And you was by cheetahs.
I'm not taking anything away from Bart Gunn, because Bart Gunn knocked out like 3 or 4 motherfuckers.
He
before
won,
got
he
to
won the
movies.
Brawl for All.
But I thought that I was so tough from fighting in bars and beating motherfucking pimps and everybody else up, and we can get in that later, that I was from Shamrock to what's the other dude I fought first? I can't think of his name.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it don't matter. But,
Don't matter.
I fought a UFC fighter.
Yeah.
UFC fighter. Who was? It wasn't
Exactly.
With the drug.
Exactly.
No.
And so Bruce Pritchard, you guys know who he is, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He called me and says, "Hey, Bear, we're going to do this fight. You get $5,000 if you fight. You get $10,000 if you win." I'm like, "I'm in." Okay, my problem was,
Right.
not an excuse, but my problem was I didn't take it seriously. Okay, so we have 4 months in advance. 4 months, what am I doing? I'm taking dab hits. I'm taking bong hits. I'm just smoking weed. I'm not going to gym. They're like, motherfucker, you got to fight what's his name? I can't think of his name. Dan Severn. Dan Severn.
Okay.
And they said, you're fighting Dan Severn. He's a UFC champion. So I'm like, I'll kick that motherfucker's ass. I don't give a fuck. You don't know about the street. Right?
Oh God. Talk about
So
it.
I fight this motherfucker, and then he just keeps trying to take me down, and then he wins.
Right.
And then I tell him after the fucking fight, I'm like, Dan, I ain't never lost a fight with a motherfucker that never put a hand on me, you bitch motherfucker.
Oh my God.
But we're cool now, but we weren't cool then.
Wait. So
I got a question.
I have to ask because you
Yeah,
brought
how
it
does
up, right?
that-
Backtracking in the sense is saying like your wife brought up the idea of the Godfather, right? The image
Which
of
has nothing to do with nipples.
No, not at all, not at all. But it also you saying recently, just right now, that you used to like get into brawls with pimps and stuff like that. Can you explain that a little further in regards to like where you were in
Back
life?
in
to
the
where,
early 80s, and probably most of you people weren't even born then, motherfucker.
Yeah, we
then.
wasn't.
But back in the
I'm
early
born 91.
Yeah, back in the 80s, I'm working in a strip club in Vegas, and they had sawdust on the floor. And you would have to bang motherfuckers out, like, every day. Yeah. And then you'd beat these motherfuckers' ass, and the police would be on your side. They'd be like, you came to Vegas acting like this? But, yeah, I don't know what the question was. This is twice. That
No.
Talking shit. I want to
Still
say.
got nipples just rolling a blunt over there.
I
I can't wait to smoke it.
I want to shift gears. This is serious real quick, so we don't got to stay too long on it.
Yeah.
And we talked about it off camera. A lot of people.
You going there, ain't you?
Yeah. I mean, if you don't want me to, I won't.
No,
Yeah.
I ain't
No,
hiding nothing.
no, only because it was like a shocking moment to me. But a lot of people a lot of people don't know that on the Over the Edge pay-per-view in 1999, Godfather was scheduled to wrestle against Owen Hart.
The Blue Blazer.
Why are you going there, man?
If you don't want me to, I won't.
No,
Yeah.
no. Go there.
No, only because
Take a shot.
yeah, of course. Somebody give me
This
title. We gotta
motherfucker's
take a
almost
shot for
empty.
Owen.
Yeah.
We gotta take a shot for Owen.
Hold on.
I'd love to smoke that blunt.
I mean, let him hit that blunt too. We gotta do that. Rest in peace, Owen
One time
Hart.
for
Once
Owen
again.
Hart, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. You know what I
For
mean?
sure.
One of the best technical
No,
wrestlers.
of course.
we're good.
One of the best technical wrestlers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, one of the best technical wrestlers in the history
Of all
wrestling.
time. Of all time,
For
really.
sure.
You know what I mean? Up there
sure.
with the likes of Eddie Guerrero and whatnot.
Dean Malenko,
Dean Malenko. Oh, man. Dean Malenko was you know what I mean?
Bret Hart.
Truly.
Dean
truly.
Malenko was cool, but and very cool.
Yeah.
But Owen Hart was the only white guy that I know that got put into the nation.
Can we listen?
And when they came to Ron and us and said we're going to put Owen Hart into the nation, you know what we said? You know what we said?
What'd you say?
You ain't going to fucking answer me?
No, please. What'd you say? No, please. No, please.
Let me look over here. You know what we said?
What we said?
What's that?
What'd you say?
Cool. Because Owen Hart was that. Didn't matter he was white. It didn't matter. He was cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing cool about Owen Hart, and I'm sure that people don't understand that when Owen Hart died, it was against me
Yeah.
in the ring.
Yeah.
And it's
It's
like my mom, man. He was just such a cool fucking dude, man.
Right.
He wasn't a degenerate like me. He wasn't fucking out fucking around and doing all the shit that I did. He was such a cool family man that it's just sad, man, because he was such a good dude.
Yeah.
He was. And
No.
and funny dude.
No,
Ripping
the
dude.
only reason why I said it is because that was the moment when me as a child, I found out wrestling was real. Because, the whole time a bunch of people are doing storylines and they're, they're even making it seem like it's real, making it seem like things are really happening. And when that happened, Jim Ross had to actually cut
Right.
and say, yo, this is not scripted. Oh, somebody has really lost their life tonight. Yeah. So for me, it really hurt because I'm watching it as a child thinking like, this is scripted. This is just one of their new storylines. And then when we found out that it's actually real, and then, that you were going against them, if I could just ask you, like, what was going through your mind when all that transpired, if you cool with talking about it. If not, totally understand.
I'm not really
Totally
cool
understandable.
talking about it because I might cry.
Gotcha.
Understandable.
Gotcha.
I'm
Understood.
trying to cry.
Absolutely.
Feel you.
Absolutely.
But I don't know what to say, man. This motherfucker died against me. I mean, I will say this: that Martha, who is Owen's Hart wife, she called me and she says, "I'd like to interview you on this thing." I'm like, Martha, you don't want to hear what I have to say. I said it's not going to be good, and I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna let it go at that because I loved Owen Hart to death.
Yeah.
Right.
I loved Owen Hart to death. He was when I went to Japan for the first time, I was there for 6 months, and Owen Hart taught me how to get on the train, how to do this, how to go to the gym. When I went to Germany for the first time for like 7 months, Owen Hart taught me how to go to the gym, how to order food, how to do this. So I love that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I love Bret Hart. I love that whole family.
Shouts to the Hart family.
Yeah.
Shouts to the Hart family.
And I don't know all the technical bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
But it's just a shame that we lost such a good
That's a legend.
family,
Absolutely.
wholesome
Yeah.
dude, because I wasn't that guy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but he was.
Yeah.
And to be the fact that somebody like didn't do the bullshit that we did and partied like we did and fuck bitches the way we did and all the shit we did, is he didn't do any of that. And then when they put him in the Nation of Domination, you know what we said? That's my lighter. Cool. Because we liked him that much.
So let's do this real quick. In honor of Owen Hart and the legacy, tremendous wrestler, tremendous man. It's okay. I got you. A tremendous man. Let's take a shot for Owen Hart real quick. Just being a phenomenal father, man, wrestler, just comrade to those in the wrestling business.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
It's a one time.
There couldn't have been a cooler person than him.
Come on.
And like I said, it's just so cool because you can't forget that back in the day in the Attitude Era, we didn't have any social media.
Not at all.
We didn't have cell phones.
Not at all.
We didn't have laptops. We didn't have any of that bullshit. So it's just, I mean, Owen was, I don't even know how to say it. He was the coolest white motherfucker in the world that didn't smoke weed, that didn't drink, and didn't whore around in the world. And everybody loved him.
So let me ask you, right? What was it at that time? Because it just seemed like, from what I understand about Owen Hart through, documentaries, interviews, and whatnot, he just seemed like an understanding person that was overall across the board accepted by everybody. Some people, They don't have a good reputation behind the curtain. Yeah. You know what I mean? But what was it about Owen Hart that made it so acceptable to bring him into the Nation of Domination, and it just seemed like, oh yeah, no, I'm with it. Let's do it.
One word. He was cool.
Come on.
There you go.
He was cool. He was cool. And he was cool. What the fuck you want me to say? He was cool.
Talk your shit, Godfather.
no, please,
He
please.
keep asking you the same question.
The only
Talk your
person
shit.
that was cool as
Not at all.
Nipple-ate,
Not at all.
I'm going to get off that. The only thing that's cool as him is Kurt Hennig.
Mr. Perfect.
Perfect.
And I don't know if you guys knew him,
Of course I knew about
but
Mr.
he
Perfect.
was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Mr.
No, he
Perfect.
didn't give a
About him.
fuck if you
Mr.
were
Perfect,
black.
he had a
And
hole-in-one, bowling
I-
strike, and
I think he
wrestled.
did something that rap is crap, and he did some shit with the redneck something.
Yeah.
But that was wrestling. He
Yeah,
is
of course.
cool. He don't give a fuck about racism.
Right.
He's the coolest motherfucker you ever met, and I love him to death.
And
Rest
it's
in peace,
dope,
Kurt
It's
Hennig.
dope to have those those friendships backstage and just those stories to tell. I want to get into a little bit of that, like some of the crazy backstage antics. Something I heard I wanted to ask you about. Is it true Undertaker, after getting drunk, would give you a Rolex as a gift?
First of all, I love Undertaker like not a brother, like that's my motherfucker heart.
Yeah.
And it's so cool that today Undertaker's talking about me, and I had so much to do with him being the badass American badass,
Right.
and
We got to talk
from
about
his
that.
Hall of Fame speech to everything. I love that motherfucker to death. He is my brother. I have a brother named Eric Wright, and he is my second brother. I love him to death. And if you want to fuck with him, you're going to have to fuck with me.
That's right.
So,
And
I have
believe
to
me, that ain't
ask-
going to be easy.
I have to ask. You mentioned it a little earlier. What part did you play in making the American badass? Like, what part did you like? Obviously, Undertaker was the dead man walking for so many years. You know, obviously Paul Bearer and whatnot. Like, what part did you play in the American badass? The bandana, the chopper rolling out to the ring. Like, you know, if you want to speak on that a little bit, we'd love to hear it.
For real?
Please,
For real?
please.
What are you doing?
You haven't even listened. You're
I'm
the
texting
most
Undertaker.
fucking-
I'm
He's
I'm
texting.
texting Undertaker.
You're not
I'm
texting
texting
Undertaker.
Undertaker.
He's texting.
I'll text him
Fuck is he
right
talking
now.
about?
He'll text. He'll really text
Just wait 10
Undertaker.
minutes. No.
Talk to us, please. We'd love to
I'm
hear
not
it.
trying to take too much credit, but
Credit is
I
credit.
called Undertaker, and I'm inducted into the Hall of Fame. Right?
Right.
Congratulations.
And when they
Congratulations.
inducted him, I said, take. I love you to death, and I'm so proud to be a part of what you are today. That it's me. And Taker said, I love you, bro, and yes, you're right. And in his Hall of Fame speech, Nipples, I'm trying to be serious, but I want to go lick your nipples. I'll be serious.
Attitude
Attitude Era Podcast.
Attitude Era Podcast.
It only happens
Now
now.
It
I'm
only
off.
happens here, ladies and gentlemen. Stop playing with us.
Another
Can I
question.
suck your nipples some more?
Oh my God.
I don't care if it's on camera or not. 'cause
Oh my.
Nah,
Oh,
nah,
you're-
nah, we'll do that on a bonus
You're
episode.
my favorite
on bonus episode. On
motherfucker
bonus
in the
Yeah, we'll
world.
do that on
You
a
have
bonus
no
episode.
idea.
We got to get this
Let
on
me
YouTube.
let me ask you something. Talking about the Hall of Fame and everything. What's it
I
like to
just
get that
want to
call?
go lick her nipples. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
my God.
But all right.
Attitude Era Podcast. Listen, you're
what's
only
it
going
like
to get this
to
kind of
get that-
entertainment here.
What's it like to get that call that you're going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame and just that? What's that like?
Mark Carano, who's no longer there, he called me. He says, yeah, and the thing is, most people don't know that every year I'm in the Hall of Fame. I might be on TV, but I'm signing autographs and stuff. And they said, we want to do that. And this is the third time. What's the fucking question? That's
it
not
like-
bad. It's the third
what's it
question.
like
I
getting the
just,
call?
I mean, those nipples over there. I want to lick
What's
them
it like
motherfuckers.
getting the call to be in the Hall of Fame?
Mark Carano called me and said, hey, Charles, who you bringing to the Hall of Fame? I'm like, what the fuck you mean who I'm bringing? He goes, well, you bring your wife, you bring your kids. I'm like, what the fuck's it to you? He goes, well, you're inducting you to the Hall of Fame. and we want you to bring your whole family. And I'm like, cool.
Fire. Let me ask you this: when
I'm sorry.
I already know what you're about to say.
You guys have no idea how serious I am.
When people say the clique controlled the locker room, in your opinion, how true is
You got me. What? I'm sorry.
when people say
I'm a true pimp, man.
Nah, I feel you.
Pimping ain't easy.
I'm a pimp.
Attitude Era
When-
podcast.
I love
Pimping ain't
beautiful
easy.
women.
when people say that the clique controlled the locker room, how true
They
is
never
that?
did with us.
Oh my God.
Finish your story. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just asking
How
the
true
questions.
is
I
that?
don't know.
Why was that?
when they
not?
say that was true that they controlled the locker room, what was your relationship like with them for you to feel like they ain't do it with you?
They controlled the locker room politically,
Okay.
but not us.
Okay.
BSK?
And BSK is a whole different thing, bro. I mean, BSK is not political. It's just brothers.
Absolutely.
Brothers. And it wasn't political.
I have to.
Even though it didn't involve the Undertaker.
And my next question that I have for you, let me. What was your time like in the $1 Million Corporation? Can I?
I'll say this. When I joined the $1 Million Corporation, they said, you're going to drive a Harley, you're going to do this. And I said, okay. And then when we started it, they took the Harley away from me, and then I was done. And then I told Vince, I said, dude, I have such a... Don't leave. I have such a
My
great
God.
relationship with Vince. He goes, what do you think? And I'm like, yeah. But
One thing I respect about your career, especially knowing you off camera, is one thing about you is that if you don't feel comfortable with the role you have, you leave immediately. Like if you don't feel comfortable with
Immediately.
one aspect of anything you do, you leave. That kind of freedom isn't given to just everybody.
But the well thing to that is that I had a strip club in Las Vegas that was making big money.
Right.
So I didn't have to worry about money. So I could more worry about just me being me.
Yeah.
So as a wrestler, what did you love about the experience? Was it more so about the gold? Was it more so about the notoriety? What was it that drew you as a wrestler altogether that kept you as a dominant force in the golden era, attitude era? Somebody that even to this day is known as one of those like staples of our childhood, you know? Oh my God.
Do we have to say
Why do you love to do what you do? Regardless
Bro,
of the
it's
character,
just
it's
being
about you.
me as it is to me.
Right.
But I want those nipples.
Oh my God. Let me just
Is
put
he
this
smoking
away.
a joint? I don't give a fuck about this show. Not that I don't.
Oh my
I want
God.
to go over there,
Attitude
smoke joints
Era
with you,
podcast.
and I want to suck your
Attitude
nipples.
Don't focus on him.
You got
Attitude Era
beautiful women.
podcast. It only
No,
happens
hold on.
here.
Let me ask you this,
Make
right?
sure to subscribe.
We only got three
Make
more
sure
questions
to-
for you,
make sure to
Godfather, and then a
subscribe.
bonus episode. You could do whatever you want.
Right.
What is your
Fuck
dream
nipples
match?
if you want.
If you could pick a match that you would want, you in your prime, you in your heyday, who is your dream match that you want to go against?
That's hard. That's hard. I mean, besides Undertaker and those guys, it's hard. I don't give a fuck about nobody else. Undertaker.
So Undertaker, would you say like that match at 1-on-1?
I'm trying.
The certain event.
I'm trying.
I know. Listen, focus on me, please, Godfather, please, Godfather, please,
You think I'm kidding?
Godfather,
Godfather,
we need you
Godfather.
here.
Godfather.
Godfather, we need
Turn
you
back
here.
into the good father,
Yeah,
please.
to
Turn
the
back
good
into the
father,
light,
to the
please.
good
Right to center.
No,
Oh no,
Wait,
he's out.
bro.
He's out.
wait,
He's out. He's
wait.
out. He's
Oh
done.
my God,
He's
leaving.
done. He's done.
He's leaving.
The Godfather's done.
Oh my God. He's leaving. Oh my God, he's leaving. Ladies and gentlemen, Only on the Attitude Era podcast.
Is that the end of the episode?
No.
Nah, we got to do the kick out. We need him to come back.
Yeah,
we need him to get his
Yeah,
fix
hold
real
on,
quick
hold
and come
on.
back.
Hey, yeah, let me get
Only on the Attitude Era podcast are you going to get it this live, this real,
Hold
with
on, he's getting-
This is the Attitude Era for
Yo,
real,
Attitude Era
man.
podcast. You're not going to get this
Wait, he's
anywhere
coming
else,
back,
ladies
he's
and gentlemen.
coming back.
He's coming back. Don't
We
worry
need
about
him
it.
back, ladies
You gotta
and
get his
gentlemen.
fix. He's coming back. Please.
He's coming back.
My God.
We need him back, man.
Please.
Hold on.
My God. He had to get his fix real quick, ladies and gentlemen.
Understand
Oh
that?
my
He got
God.
to get his fix.
You have no idea.
This
Oh, my
episode is
God.
crazy.
Are you good?
I'm gonna be on my best behavior right now.
Please, please.
Well, let me.
I'm gonna be on my best
Please,
behavior.
Can
Drop
I ask
out
you
the
one?
question,
Let me
please.
ask you one question
Can you
before we
focus
get
on
in.
Z to
It's
drop
hard
out?
to focus on you when I'm looking at her.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you one question. I think
Yes.
you're gonna want to talk about before we get on to my favorite segment.
My Lord.
This is something we were talking about off cam. Recently, they had a depiction of you in a show called Young Rock. What were your thoughts on it? The show Young Rock and just how.
Shout out to
Ned
Dwayne
Nation-
Johnson. Shout out to The
Dwayne
Rock.
Johnson.
Now, I mean, I didn't
Fuck
get to see
Dwayne
that episode.
Johnson.
Hey.
That motherfucker should never had CeeLo fucking Green portray me. I am 6'7".
Right.
Okay, and they portrayed me as like somebody 6'1".
If y'all look in this
So
picture
fuck
right
The
here,
Rock. Fuck
he's actually
him.
the tallest
That
man.
motherfucker. Fuck that bitch. That motherfucker's fucking 3 inches shorter than me. It had me 5 inches shorter than him. So
if y'all look at
fuck
this
The
picture
Rock.
behind me, he's actually the tallest man in the picture right behind us in Nation of Domination. Oh,
All
my
right, hold
God.
on. I think
Oh,
we
my
should
God.
move. I think we
Let's
should
go to
move
the
in.
bonus.
I think we should move into my favorite segment. It might be hard to get right now, but Godfather.
All right, hold on. Before you get into that, 2 more questions, Godfather. Light the spliff. Light it.
Yeah, light that up.
Light
Light
it.
that up.
Light it.
My Lord.
What was your favorite moment in the
Attitude
Attitude
Era
Era? Just watch it.
Your favorite moment.
I can't answer. I mean, I had so many favorite moments. In
Just
that shit.
give us 3. 1.
One.
Please,
Yeah.
please,
Give us
please.
one favorite moment.
Me and Tippoloids.
You said what?
Never mind.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
Oh, my
it's
God.
so many things. So it's hard to say, man. I've had such a great career.
Yeah.
I've done so much fucking crazy shit.
Absolutely.
There's only one Godfather.
That's
Absolutely.
only
Fact,
one.
That's a fact.
I'm the real deal.
It's only
motherfucking
one.
Holyfield.
Can never be emulated. Can never be copied.
I can't get past her.
Now, listen.
It's only
but
one,
at the end of
man.
the
What was the other question?
I can't get past that.
What was the other
I was going to
question?
ask him what was his favorite moment in the Attitude Era, but I don't think he knows.
My mouth and shit.
Go to the kick.
Okay, hold on. Let's
My
get to this.
God.
Godfather.
Guys,
We're gonna go on
Attitude
to
Era
my.
podcast.
We're gonna go on to my
Attitude
favorite
Era
segment.
podcast.
All right. Wait, you with me,
I'll drop
Godfather?
Everything. What? Yeah.
You with me?
Oh,
All right.
my God.
Hold on. We're gonna
You
go on.
want to
To,
hold the mic? You want? Please.
We're on to
I
my-
beg of you.
we're on to my
Please.
favorite segment. It's
I have to
called
do something.
the kick out. We're gonna play
You
a
ready?
game with you real quick.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask you some quick fire questions.
Need you to focus.
You have 3 seconds to give me an answer. If you can
Godfather.
give me an
3
answer,
seconds.
I'm the referee. I'm gonna count.
he's the ref.
3 seconds.
So-
1,
seconds.
2, 3.
You
If
know how this
just
goes.
like how you got to kick out. If you can give us an answer, we're going to give you a
My
point. If you
God.
can't, we'll take it away. So Saga's going to ring the bell, and we'll get started right away. The kick out begins in 3, 2, 1. Question 1. Who is your wrestling GOAT?
GOAT, greatest of all time?
Yeah.
Undertaker.
Tables, ladders, or chairs? Which do you prefer to use?
One does not involve me.
Oh, okay. A dream match that never happened for you.
Got it.
Can't answer that. I don't know.
A rematch you want.
I want a fucking Bret Hart.
Bret Hart.
He beat me in the
like
first
that.
ever Monday Night Raw or whatever the fuck it was called. He beat me, and I want a rematch.
Oh,
Fire.
get that lick back, bro.
If you could pick a new theme song, what would it be?
Pimpin' Ain't Easy.
You don't need a new one.
No.
Hell in a Cell or Elimination Chamber? Which would you rather fight?
Hell in the Cell.
If you could pick anyone now to be your tag team partner in wrestling, who would it be?
Is he a smoker?
Oh,
You
got it.
could be.
Got it.
What's the new kid's name?
Matt Riddle?
Yes.
Matt Riddle.
Yes, the fourth.
Bring him.
All right.
I'm gonna bring him on.
If you had to make up a new type of match, what would it be?
Me and Tippolates.
Okay. If you had to choose a new wrestling name, what would that be?
What? Sir Charles.
All right. NWO or D-Generation X?
D-Generation X.
Raw or SmackDown?
Raw.
If you could only watch one pay-per-view for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, fuck. I don't know.
Three, all right.
Anything involving The Undertaker.
Nice. Who is the hardcore wrestling GOAT?
Hardcore Holly.
Oh, nice. If you invented a new belt, what would it be called? The Pimp Champion.
Smoke weed every day.
Nice.
The
nice.
Smoke weed everyday champion.
Stone Cold or The Rock?
Oh, that's hard, bro. Two. I love both of the motherfuckers. Stone Cold and The Rock is cool.
All right.
I ain't got no answer. They're both cool.
And who's the greatest tag team ever?
1, 2, 3.
Road Warriors.
Road Warrior. All right, now this is last man standing style. I'll give you 10 seconds for this one. I need you to give me your wrestling Mount Rushmore.
That's hard, bro. Okay. The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Undertaker. Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Help me out. Fourth one. Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. All right, hit the
Cool
bell. That's the
Stone
kickoff.
Cold. It's so fucking cool. You wouldn't even imagine.
Godfather is activated. That's another episode of the
Yeah.
Attitude Era podcast. Make sure y'all sign up now to see the bonus episode.
This is insane.
The way the Godfather is, the bonus episode might only be 10 minutes. You know what I mean? But make sure y'all tune in and see the behind the scenes, see the episodes early, see this bonus episode, and much more. This is a movie.
Because
right
what's
now.
going on right now?
Shout out to the Godfather. Shout out to Chalkline. You see, I got on the Papa Shango jacket. Yeah. Yeah. Chalkline. Yeah, he's gone. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Attitude Era podcast. We're here.
Good night.
Good night.
Nah,